Good morning. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please welcome Sophia with this morning's announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, and it's a white day. All health classes meeting A, B, and C block, please report to Fuller Basement for class today. Only A, B, and C blocks meet in Fuller Basement today. Those with Health D and E blocks should report to your regular classroom. Attention seniors, there will be an all-class meeting in Fuller Hall tomorrow during the morning advisory period. Please sit in your chapel seats as we roll out the first senior privilege of the second semester. Attention Hills students, join us for the first workshop in our Leadership Training and Culture Building series with Mr. Keffer. The event will take place on January 22nd from 2:45 to 3:45 in Mayo Lounge. To reserve your spot, please RSVP on our Canvas page. Spaces are limited and will be allocated on a first-come, first-served basis. We look forward to your participation this Thursday. Applications for the Governor's Institute of Vermont are open for all 9th graders through juniors. The Governor's Institute is an intensive summer learning program hosted on college campuses throughout the state. This year, they are offering programs in art, engineering, entrepreneurship, global issues and youth action, health and medicine, mathematical sciences, technology and design, and weather and climate change. For more information, you can check out their website at giv.org or stop by the guidance office. The application deadline is March 31st. The deadline for buying tickets for the Love Notes Vermont Symphony concert on Saturday, February 14th has been extended by popular demand. The seats are running out and Mr. McKenzie must book tickets for this special musical celebration of Valentine's Day by the end of the week to avoid disappointment. So if you haven't done so already, please submit your signed permission slip and a $10 fee to Mr. or Mrs. McKenzie, Mr. Buhner, or Ms. Porter ASAP. Happy birthday today to Kava Gage, Jack Ween, Carlos Maiz Hermosillo, Ryland Page, and Bentley Allard. Happy birthday. Today for sports, we have an alpine meet at Smuggler's Notch, the JVB boys basketball at Hanover at 4 o'clock. Please dismiss the team at 1:30, and JV and varsity boys basketball at home versus Rutland at 5:30 and 7. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Sophia. Joan Beck and Joel Thornton Sherman competed in the East Coast Invitational in Providence, Rhode Island on Saturday. Sydney finished fourth in the 800 meters with a new PR of 2:23, almost a 4-second personal best. She also finished third in the long jump with a mark of 5.27 meters. Joel Thornton Sherman won the 2-mile with a time of 9:34, beating the second place finisher by 26 seconds. Congratulations to Sydney and Joel. Our girls varsity basketball team traveled to Massachusetts to compete in the Hoop Hall Invitational Tournament over the weekend. The Toppers brought their defensive game, dominating their opponents in both contests. On the first night, they upset the home team on their court, but came up short in the championship by just 2 points, leaving the weekend with a 1-1 record. Brianna Bunnell led the Hilltoppers in scoring both games with 20 points in the first night and 14 in the second game. Congratulations to our girls basketball team. Yesterday, the Nordic team traveled to the Reichert Outdoor Center in Ripton, Vermont to race in the all-state meet. In a field of 13 high school teams, the SJA girls team placed second behind CVU, and the boys placed 8th. In the varsity girls 5K skate race, the Academy had 2 girls in the top 10. Stella Vanderlind placed 7th, and Tilly Lang won the event by 10 seconds. JV boys Marshall May also made the podium with a 3rd place finish in the 2.5-kilometer race. Congratulations. And this past Friday and Saturday, our wrestlers competed in the 2-day Michael J. Baker Essex Classic tournament hosted by Essex High School. Senior Jackson Ladd went 5-0 to win the championship in his weight class. Congratulations, Jackson. Now we have our next installment of Poetry Out Loud. These are the final four contestants. We'll hear two today, two tomorrow. And at the end of this round, we'll be naming a school champion and a school runner-up. So please welcome first to the stage, Donley Johnson.
G-D by Philip Terman. Not even in representation, figure or shape. Nothing we can imagine or create. No structure or sound or phrase. Not even symbols or color. Formulas or equations, nothing we can mold, what we are incapable of calling out or writing down. Our houses are candles and stained glass. In our pantries, scrolls of words we kiss and dance before. The presence of beauty is without form. And so, the middle letter is erased, spelling a word we can never pronounce. Our tongues stumbling for a vowel, a syllable forbidden to be said. For the sound itself is only a sign of the original silence. And what is it but silence? After all, the spaces we fill in with our words, our actions with blessings. Here, each of our images is graven as we crave and carve your name in our lower case. Our imaginations sealed in museums, wrung out in metal and glass and stone, bound in ink and cloth, where words follow, in their necessity, out of the place they fade into, as us, with our skins full of breath and bones that become earth, walk, and are perfect.
Claimed by Hannah Lengel. Hannah.
A Litany for Survival by Audre Lorde. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways, coming and going in the hours between dawns, looking inward and outward at once, before and after, seeking a now that can breed futures, like bread in our children's mouths, so their dreams will not reflect the death of ours. For those of us who were imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid, for by this weapon, this illusion of some safety to be found, the heavy-footed hope to silence us. For all of us, this instant and this triumph, we were never meant to survive. And when the sun sets, we are afraid it might never rise again. When the sun rises, we are afraid it might not remain. When our stomachs are full, we are afraid of indigestion. When our stomachs are empty, we are afraid we may never eat again. When we are loved, we are afraid love will vanish. When we are alone, we are afraid love will never return. And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive.
So seniors, over the next few weeks, many of you will be hearing word on next steps. Some of you will be getting replies from universities. Others of you will be finding out what kind of program you may or may not have gotten into. Some of you will be finding out about possible job positions. And so when I think about the arc that you've been on and where you started as ninth graders, most of you heard some adults say, dream big. And I imagine that most of you, as you think about this next step, it falls into that dream. You probably have a dream school, a dream program, or a dream job. And it's front and center. I know it's on your minds. It is every single year. Seniors are thinking about it this time of year. You're probably tired of hearing people say, have you heard anything? What's your next step? What are you planning to do? And that does. It gets tiresome, especially if you're feeling some stress and you're hoping to hear a yes, and you know, of course, that there's an opportunity for someone to say no. And we know that that can happen. I heard a student say a few years ago, after not getting into their dream school, they got that no letter. And he said to me, oh, that was my chance. Everything else is simply second best. And he went on further to say, it's not good enough for me, it's not good enough for my family, and I felt bad for this young man. He was feeling the pressures of this situation. And I tried to encourage him, as I'd like to encourage you out in front of some of the news that you may get, which may or may not be disappointing, but your dreams haven't been dashed if the next step isn't what you thought it would be. But the pathway toward your ultimate dreams down the road has just taken a different shape. And so again, it's hard to see in the moment, but if you step back and realize that university, program, or further training, the job that you're going to take up, the military, whatever your next step is, seniors, it is simply that. It's a next step, and it's very rarely the final step that you will take. We know that today, folks go out into the world, and they don't usually settle into one career with one employer and simply do that until they retire. They do many things. And so I'm hoping that we all keep in mind as we go forward that you have some goals that are further afield and that the next step is likely just preparation or part of a path that you're going to take. So I am going to return to my Indiana Hoosiers. So for those of you who watched the National Football Championship last night, there was some talk after that championship. Oh, by the way, Indiana won. So that's their first national title in football. And one of my new favorite coaches, Coach Kurt Signetti, was interviewed after the game. And the question last night was, so Coach, did you ever dream you would get to take a team to the national championship and then win it? And again, a sidebar, this is a coach who has been an assistant with some big programs, some big power football programs, and then led some Division I programs. But this is certainly the biggest gig that he's had, certainly the biggest stage he's been on. But again, IU, Indiana, was not considered a major place to land as a football coach. So he's made something of it. So his response, Coach, did you ever dream you would be here? And he said, nope, I most certainly did not. But when you keep your nose down and you work hard, anything is possible. And so I think that I'd ask us all to think about that as we're thinking about what the next step is going to be. Whatever that is, if we accept whatever that reality is, and we put our noses down and we work hard, we can make big things happen. And so I encourage each of you to think about that. I know that I'm not going to soothe the emotions that come with hearing a possible no, but I hope that when you step back, that you remember that the next step is exactly that. It's just a step, and we can continue to dream. We can put our noses down and work hard, and we can make some dreams a reality. Have a great Tuesday. Faculty.